So the BJP has swept Delhi and it has got now that very important foothold at the seat of power, and largely the entire Hindi-speaking belt of the country in the north is being controlled by the BJP. Here's my three-point analysis on this election result. Now, a really important detail that is now emerging, and there's an interesting article on this on the Quint website, is basically the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party going their separate ways seems to have costed the Aam Aadmi Party desperately. The Congress also eventually ending up with 0 seats, but a slightly higher vote share margin. So according to the Election Commission, the Congress had about 6.6% of the vote. The Aam Aadmi Party had 43% of the vote and the BJP has about 46% of the vote. So that's 6% that the Congress had. If it had gone to the Aam Aadmi Party, or if they had fought together, they could have actually won this. Now look at the minute arguments also. Like for example, Arvind Kejriwal, who lost his seat, lost with a margin of 4,089 votes. Now he fought against the BJP, and from the Congress in his seat, there was Sandeep Dixit, who got 4,568 votes. So if Congress's Sandeep Dixit had not contested this election and those votes had gone to Kejriwal, he would have actually won. Same thing with Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia, who lost by a narrow margin of 675 votes, and this is in a seat that he's normally very comfortable in. He lost to the BJP, but the Congress had actually put in a candidate who won 7,350 votes. And Manish Sisodia needed 650 votes to win. So the Congress really splitting those votes. Saurabh Bharadwaj as well was defeated in Greater Kailash by a margin of 3,188 votes against BJP Shikha Roy. The Congress candidate in that, in that constituency got 6,000 votes. So if there's, this has happened across the board, and these are the big 4 names, all of whom have lost because the Congress cut those votes. So it is obvious here the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, who were very good friends, and then decided that they were going to contest all 70 seats separately, seem to have shot themselves in the foot. And this actually brings into question the entire India bloc and its future, because not only is this, shows very badly for the Congress and what it's capable of doing, but a lot of the other regional powers are now going to see what has happened to the AAP and learn from it or take their cues from it. Remember, Omar Abdullah put out a statement almost immediately saying, "Aur lado aapas mein." And this is what will happen. So basically in Karnataka, we have a saying, "Yaradara jagla mooranige labha," which means where 2 people fight, the third person benefits. And the third person here is the BJP, who has benefited greatly. But it's not just that one point. There are other 2 big analysis points that are emerging. One is, of course, anti-incumbency. Aam Aadmi Party has been in power for 10 years. And the problems of Delhi that Arvind Kejriwal promised to solve have not been solved. There is garbage piling up to the ceiling and to the sky, really, that has not been solved. The air pollution problem has not been solved. Water pollution has not been solved. The roads are still a mess. So people are saying, hey, you know what? If every time we ask you a question, you're going to do this cat and mouse saying LG is not letting us work, then maybe we should just try the BJP and see if that double engine sarkar eliminates this fight, then maybe actually we'll get some work done. So a lot of people are just frustrated with that inaction of the Aam Aadmi Party and have decided, let's just try this out. The other big change is, of course, remember when Kejriwal came in, there was a muffler, there was a sweater, a bush shirt, a Wagoner car. He went out of his way to display the fact that he was a regular guy. He was a revenue service officer who became an RTI activist, who then became a politician. And he started a party which a lot of regular people, people from public life, people who were bankers and artists and, people who were working in the social sector joined him. And then over the years, we saw a lot of great people leave him. People like Yogendra Yadav, people like Prashant Bhushan, people who were well-intentioned for social work actually dropped out, and it became about Arvind Kejriwal. It became about him in person and his entire campaign and his persona. The mess that was actually created with Swati Maliwal did not help him either. If anything, it showed that his affairs were not in order, and it was not all was not well in the managing of the Aam Aadmi Party. Kejriwal has now made it all about himself. His image had been dented by the whole, renovation he had done of the chief minister's house. The BJP said he spent 33 lakh rupees on it, and he fought really hard for that house. And now a BJP chief minister is going to live in it. The fact that he was arrested for corruption, the fact that he stepped away and he said the people of Delhi will decide if I'm going to be chief minister again, and apparently the people of Delhi had something else in mind. So he no longer comes across as a Aam Aadmi. He comes across as a shrewd politician, and that is something people sort of saw through at some point. And the final analysis, of course, is the fact that the BJP is the fastest learner when it comes to elections. Remember, it was the Aam Aadmi Party who came up with this idea of giving out free electricity or giving out free water. And when they started that, and free travel for women, when they started that, the other parties all said, oh, this is rubbish, you're just going to like bankrupt the coffers, this is a terrible thing to do. But in the last few elections, we've noticed that all parties are now doing it, including the BJP, that has in fact mastered the art of doing it. All parties in this election promised between 2,100 or 2,500 transferred directly to the accounts of the women of the state. All of them. So the BJP has learnt that trick really quickly, and it gamed that trick as well. So one of our analysts were telling us that the freebies, or the subsidies as you call them, were really to target the Juggi Jobri crowd, which is how Delhi sort of tells them apart. And then there was the middle class crowd in the RWAs, or what they call the resident welfare societies. Now, what the BJP did was that they did the freebies, but they also targeted the RWAs by promising raises or a pay commission to government officers. And remember, Delhi is full of government employees and their families. And also by promising, apart from those freebies, also, they gave that massive tax break and then said that, hey, we are a pro-middle class government. And, if you look at us, we are actually thinking what is best for the middle class. And that seems to have struck a chord, because the middle class, which actually supported Arvind Kejriwal when he first arrived on the scene, seemed fairly disconnected, from him. And there was this whole idea that taxes are being collected from the middle class and they're being used to give away freebies, but actually the middle class is getting nothing. So the BJP managed to bridge that gap as well. So between the Congress cutting the votes, the BJP figuring out the entire freebies game, and Arvind Kejriwal losing his position as the true Aam Aadmi, it seems like the game might be up for the Aam Aadmi Party. There are also rumors now that Arvind Kejriwal needs to watch his Punjab chief minister really closely, because he's already having conversations about maybe, a lotus or two. And that is buzz right now in the journalist circles, and that's not confirmed. That's a little tidbit. But like I said, that's really gossip that's doing the rounds. But this is what we're seeing on the ground. So it's really up to Arvind Kejriwal to sort of remake himself. Now, the thing that I have learned about politics is to never say never. So nobody's journey is ever over. People make comebacks after 10, 20, 30 years, because politics is both a young man's and a very old man's game. So Arvind Kejriwal is not off the scene. What is going to be fairly interesting is how he's going to handle being in the opposition, because when he put out his statement saying, hey, we accept what the people have said and we will be in the opposition, he's not going to be in the assembly because he's not won his seat. But we could place our last rupee in a bet that he's going to be in Dharna, and he's going to do it a lot, because he is a guy who has risen from RTI and from Dharna. So one expects that you will very soon see Arvind Kejriwal start up sitting in opposition and sitting in Dharna and sitting in protest very, very soon, because that is his core, sort of belief. That's where he comes from. So it's going to be a very interesting term going ahead. Who's going to be the chief minister from the BJP? We don't know. So that's something to look forward to. And what is Arvind Kejriwal going to be like when he's not in office? That's the other thing to look at. Also, remember the gossip I told you, keep an eye on the Punjab government as well. Like, share, subscribe, and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think was the big and the most interesting development today in the elections. Thanks for watching.